Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you have been seeing a lot of my Driver San Francisco videos, but you know what? There's something else I had to talk about today on this game, man, that honestly, it's been in my head a little bit going through this campaign in this game the past few days. What is that going to be? Well, it's simple. Ubisoft needs to go back to the Driver San Francisco era. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, Block, what? But here, guys, hear me out. There's a reason why I'm saying this, though, because I have been going back and playing a lot of older racing games and stuff like that. This specific game I never got to play, and to be honest, I was a little bit on the fence when I did see this game was made by Ubisoft, which you probably, and what I mean by that is published. I know this game wasn't actually made by Ubisoft, you know what I mean? It was made by a studio, and Ubisoft published it. Yes. But I also have been noticing, though, that when I was going to play something like this game, we all do know the Crew 1 did end up getting shut down, but we do have the mod for it, so we could play that again. Shame on Ubisoft for shutting that game down. We're also then going to have the Crew 2, and we're going to have Motorfest now. But playing the newer racing games, it is kind of crazy, bro, how, like, if you look at each racing game now, how they kind of just been going backwards in a lot of ways. Now, yes, they have made ways forward, right? They have made good positive steps. But with every positive step in a lot of the newer games, can I say it? They go like 3 or 4 steps backwards in other areas. And when I was playing Driver San Francisco, man, like one of the biggest things about this game that stood out right to me is how unique this game is in so many different ways. Now, what I do mean by the unique side of that, though, is going to come down to a couple of different things. For example, a unique story, unique cars, gameplay, map design, the overall feeling that the game is going to feel like something different, and it wasn't going to feel like a copy of something else. You can tell that they looked at other games and went, oh, yeah, that's a really cool idea. Let's throw that one in there. Let's throw this one in there. Let's put that in there as well. Like, no, Driver actually felt different in many different ways, man. One way I'm going to say right off the bat here, I said this in the other videos as well, as I love the campaign so far in this game, dude. It is so fun. Now, some people can be like, well, the design of it's kind of going to be the same thing, and you could probably see like a pattern of how the campaign is designed and stuff, dude, but I love the way the missions are set up, whether it's going to be you going after tankers on the highway or going after someone that was kidnapped or trying to find somebody that was in this specific vehicle that has to race that's then going to lead you to like a car meet that is then going to be part of something else with the main character that you're going after, which is the Charles guy. It is going to be cool how they're pretty much connecting everything in the campaign, but for me, though, it is kind of sucking me in. Like, I'm actually listening to the cutscenes in this game, bro, and going, oh, so dang, I gotta go after that dude, or they're trying to put all the pieces together. How you did end up getting, like, a lead of going to an area, you then find this girl that's actually going to be the one that was the Russian sniper, like the spy or whatever it was, and that's going to lead to something else that's working with Charles and stuff. Like, it is going to be a really cool way on how the game is going to be set up. And honestly, guys, I really do think the campaign in this game was awesome, and I kind of feel like I really do wish Ubisoft would look at a game like this and go, oh, this was going to be different, because look back at something like The Crew 1, that game also had a story mode to it, and I do understand that people are going to be kind of mixed on the entire story mode thing, I understand that, but let's be real, guys, having something like that in there and not like a full-on festival, get your moose in there and try to race and stuff like that. You are going to be the motorsport champion today, my friend. Get in there, race a few people, and you will be #1. Are you sure about that, bro? Because I would prefer, honestly, like a story like Driver that I've literally been engaged in and playing through this game going, oh, that's cool, let me go do some side stuff, and I'm over here finding myself after like an hour going, oh, yeah, I kind of need to do these story missions because I've been doing side stuff the entire time, or I've been grinding some of them trying to get more WP points so I can buy other vehicles like the GTR and stuff, or, you know, unlocking other garages to get more cars and trucks and stuff unlocked. Then I can also grind and get different things unlocked. What I mean by grind is do a bunch of different of these side quests and stuff like that, which personally I have had a really good time doing them. They're going to be a mix of like police chases. You also have to use your own vehicle or cars in the map itself to wreck like an entire police race. You then have races, checkpoints, you have to do stunts. Like, there's a lot of different things there to really mix it up, which personally I had a really good time with that. The other part I did mention, though, was going to come down to, like, the unique part of, like, the cars and stuff like that, which I do understand, guys. This is probably going to sound a bit dumb, But you know what's funny though? Driving in this game in the cockpit view and just messing with different vehicles and just cruising around and stuff is honestly really fun in this game. Like picking a different car and doing some races and stuff like that, or driving a regular like Chevy Cobalt or like a Chevy Volt or something like that. Some of the cars in this game, dude, like seeing a Dodge minivan or like a Ram 3500, like I personally love diesels, so seeing a really big dually like that in this game, I was like, wait, that's a 3500 diesel Ram? What? I don't even know of another game that truck was even in. Like, I do know that the Forza Horizon 5 game has the really big F450, like Ford or whatever, but that's obviously not a Ram. Dodge Ram hasn't been connected in a while. But either way, though, you're looking at that. There's going to be a ton of different cars everywhere. It's kind of like a Grand Theft Auto on like a crazy version of, honestly, I don't even know. It's like a crazier version of it. Like, yeah, you're not going to be able to like blow other things up and stuff like that, but the damage model in this game is great. And you can kind of tell that Ubisoft really took the time to go in there and make every car's damage model really cool. Like the mirrors are going to hang, the bumpers are going to get smashed, the cars are going to get destroyed by doing different things, and you're also going to see that damage model on every single vehicle that you use, whether it's a bus, a truck, a different car, some of the other vehicles like a cab and stuff like that, box trucks, they all have the damage models, which is very cool. And it kind of adds on to the uniqueness of the game going, okay, well, every single car is not going to feel the same and stuff like that, or every single car is not going to feel rushed, or even the overall game itself, you can kind of tell that they jumped in and put like the overall thought process behind it. And you know what? Speaking of that, a good example of this is I was doing a mission where I had to deliver a Ford Mach 1, which is going to be an old Mustang, obviously. And in this, I was like, wait a second. So I'm driving an old Mustang, and I realized every single vehicle on the map. Now, I know this might sound kind of dumb to people, are also going to be old cars, including the police cars. I thought this was a really cool thing because normally you see like newer cars, but no, man, you're going to see Beetles, old muscle cars like the Chevelle and stuff like that. You're going to see like old pickup trucks, very, very cool, like the Pontiac Trans Am, that Volkswagen like minibus looking thing or whatever it is. I probably didn't say that right, but you all know what vehicle I'm talking about. Either way, I was like, that's pretty dope, man. Like, I wasn't expecting that in this mission when I was playing through it. I'm like, that's going to be like a kind of a cool thing they didn't have to do but did. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if a lot more of the games felt more unique, or Ubisoft, even, they're the publisher, so I kind of got to blame them somewhere, as they are probably, I don't know if they're the ones in charge of the resources of the actual studios, which they probably are. So that is probably going to mean if the games are going to get the love, or the work that they probably need, or maybe the people to work on them properly. Who really knows what it is? I do know there's a lot of like moving parts in there, but either way though, you can definitely tell these older games really were going to be made right, guys. What kind of frustrates me with the newer games, even the Crew 1 when it was out, is every update that was added into the game, man, you could just tell it went backwards and not in a good way. When I was playing something like Driver, I'm like, dude, I would honestly love to see a game like this release on newer consoles just to see what it would do, bro. I guarantee right now some of these companies, now this could go for, Midnight Club Los Angeles, Midnight Club 3, all of those games, Driver San Francisco. I am willing to bet right now if they release these games on PS5 and the new Xbox, you can buy them for like 25 or 30 bucks, whatever it is, 35 bucks. Even $40 would probably work. I guarantee a ton of people would play them again, and most likely if they had a multiplayer, because I do know Midnight Club 3 did not. If something like MCLA's like multiplayer would probably be popping, I bet you Driver San Francisco's multiplayer, bro, would easily be popping once again. Like, everybody would be playing it because the game is actually going to feel unique and stuff. Like, you're not going to have that crazy customization in this game or any of that stuff. You're not going to be lowering your vehicles or putting some crazy rims. No, man, you just have a bunch of different cars that you drive around, kind of not like test drive, but in that way because you are, a driver. So there is still going to be a big unique thing of vehicles. What is there, like, I think I saw 130, something like that. I think the owned cars in the game's 140 different cars, bro. That's insane, though. But there's going to be such a big mix of different cars in the game that I feel like would probably go to so many different players. And on top of the unique cars, you're also going to have the unique gameplay, the way the races are. You could drive around a very unique map. And also, you're going to have a very unique campaign. So, honestly, I feel like Ubisoft and that entire... Honestly, other companies probably have to do the same thing. But you know what? They really need to go back to the Driver San Francisco era where things were going to feel truly unique, but also different, making these games really stand out, where they're not going to be copying or looking like a clone of a different game just because that game might have like a successful formula or something. doesn't mean that same exact formula is going to work for your game or be as successful as that, and then a bunch of people are most likely going to call that out anyway. I guarantee right now, guys, I really wish they released this game again, because I guarantee a lot of players, including myself, would easily go back to it and play it again. Funny part is I'm playing it now on the Xbox One, and man, am I having such a wonderful time playing this game. I am so glad I found a 360 copy of it. And so far, from all the positive things I have been noticing, or even in the past of people talking about Driver San Francisco, it has 100% lived up to it. I really do think this game is so dang fun. Do let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Do you also agree? It doesn't even have to be Ubisoft, dude. It could be the other game developers as well. Do y'all think they should go back to this era of what Driver San Francisco was back then? Like the early 2010s, even before that, like 2005 to like 2009. I also feel like games are really good back then as well. But I really do feel like the early 2010s had a lot of great games to it, including Driver, even some of the old Need for Speed games like Hot Pursuit. I would also say Need for Speed The Run was good. And to me, though, I really do feel like a lot of those games captured the uniqueness of what a racing game or even a game should most likely have to it, that a lot of the newer games are honestly just seeming to miss. Do let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. And the biggest question I want to leave y'all with, should Ubisoft go back to the Driver San Francisco era?